Stevie, good to see you back here at Somerset. I believe only the second time you've been back since you left here in 1998.
It is, the second time back. I think maybe I came here, maybe about 9 or 10 years ago, myself and Isaac English actually that day. And we were well looked after, so it's been great to come back today.
You're looking across at that brand new stand. You've got the hub across the road, which I'm sure Davy Kennedy will be taking you into, or has maybe taken you into before this. What are you making of the changes?
Great, it really is. It's great to see. I know it's been a long time coming. I think the club, the fans probably deserve something like this. I've still to see the set up in the hub, but just kind of drove by it there. So you can see there are a lot of things happening at the club. Obviously the new manager coming in, raising the profile of the club. Looks like it's going one direction, and it's lovely to see.
You joined Ayr United from Shrewsbury in 1986, I believe. How did that move come around for you?
Well, it's a strange one. I almost came to Ayr from Clydebank at the time, but Clydebank wouldn't let me come here. Wouldn't let me sign for Ayr United, so I had to go to Shrewsbury. I kind of always had the suspicion that I would be coming here kind of at the end of the season really, and I only had, I think I had maybe 6 months at Shrewsbury, and the idea would be that should things go okay with Shrewsbury at the time, I would end up coming here. It was always a thing that was probably going to be in the pipeline.
And what attracted you to Ayr United at that point?
At the time, obviously the club was struggling really. What it was, we always knew it was a club that could probably, go up with divisions. Struggling at the foot of League 2 at the time. So it was always a club that got plenty of potential. And I knew the manager at the time, Gordon Dale. I knew Gordon personally, and he always kept in touch with me. And I always knew of his interest to get me to the club. So there was a few things happening at the time that I knew I was probably going to end up here.
You mentioned that Ayr were a struggling club at the time when you initially joined, but then obviously you went on to, you went on to win the league championship in the final day against Bet Rangers. We'll go on to that in a bit. What was Gordon Dale's style of management like?
It was a few things with Gordon Dale, to be honest. Ultimately, he did have a good time at the club. I say the club was struggling when he took over. He came and played first of all and then took over. So it was League One, was it? It was League One was struggling at the bottom. And he turned that around, don't get us wrong, he was given plenty of resources at the time, I feel. He had plenty of opportunities to bring in different types of players. But for me, he was a striker. He gave me an opportunity to full-time football. And he was great for me early doors. He improved me, definitely improved me as a striker. Really encouraged me to be a bit more selfish, certainly in the box. I think my strength at the time was probably leading the line. But he did kind of asked me to home in and focus and being a bit more selfish and getting more goals for myself, which ultimately I did, so it was good.
I take it in terms of the whole team as well, he was quite an attacking manager, liked to excite the crowd, and that's what the fans would have bought into at the time.
Oh, it was. We started that season, we won the league that year, League One. We started the season on fire, even like pre-season we were beating teams that came here, like Millwall came here and bet them, Luton Town came here and bet them. We just started the season like really did. We just hit the ground running. As you say, had some really good players. I think even now players, fans talk about like Paul Kinnear, Dalziel Englishes, and hopefully I kind of played a part in that, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time. It was great.
I believe you and Isaac English formed a pretty decent strike partnership as well. How did that come around? Did you just kind of instantly click, or was it something that you guys worked on regularly in training, or? No,
it just clicked. It wasn't anything. We didn't really. It was just natural, really. Even in training, we linked up well. Isaac was very quick, so anything over the top, stretch teams. Whereas myself, I was a bit more a target man, possibly. But the two has got on great off the pitch, and you've seen it a million times. You kind of link up well on the pitch, you get off well with each other off the pitch. It was just a great wee partnership we had.
I believe it was, according to the. We'll go Wikipedia, who knows if it's true, 17 goals in 33 league games, I believe, for United. It's a pretty good goal record, and like you say, a good camaraderie off the park must have helped you in that pursuit.
Yeah, it did. I don't know if that's how accurate that is. I've maybe scored a couple of more goals than that the time I left. But no, it was a team that was going places, a team that was in the front foot. We were full time. It was my first, opportunity full time, and it was probably the most enjoyable period in my football career, to be honest. So always fun memories of that particular season.
We're talking about what it was like on a match day. What were the training sessions like? Did the kind of he's beaten to Andy Walker a few years ago. You said that Ian Monroe, I don't know if he was here at the time, but he was very much the kind of lead coach in the training session. Was that the case when you were here as well?
Well, I just got to the tail end. I kind of left as at a period where Ian came in, and his training was great. It was very technical. You had to really kind of think about his training sessions. It wasn't a training session you just turned up and went through. You really had to think about what you were doing and where you were in that particular session. Before that, it was Ali Dawson who was great, and then the gaffer Gordon Dalziel at the time would take sessions. But no, Ian was very good. He was very exact in what he wanted. But really a really good coach, Ian Monroe.
I've asked this question to pretty much every former player that I've interviewed here. What was Gordon Dalziel like in terms of tactics? Was he tactical, or was he more kind of, was he just kind of more general? What was he like in the dressing room?
I can't remember him being too tactical, to be honest. For me, he was very much to the point with me. He didn't really cut me too much slack. I can't really think of too many times where he gave me much praise, but he certainly let me know that if things weren't going the way maybe he expected, he would let me know. But sometimes you're cool to be kind. But he definitely improved me as a player. But again, I did get a move from here down to Shrewsbury, and I probably, at the time I didn't particularly want that move. But when I look back now, it was actually a good thing. That kind of happened. So.
Yeah, we were speaking before about the Berwick Rangers game, the title-winning game down there at Shield. Pitch invasion, I believe. That must have been a great occasion to be a part of, and a big relief to get it over the line in the end.
It was brilliant. Because we had kind of built up a good lead throughout that season, and it looked as though we were maybe going to possibly blow it.
We were speaking earlier on about that title-winning game down at Shield against Berwick Rangers in the 96-97 season. I believe it must have been a huge relief to get that over the line, and a great occasion to be a part of as well with the fans.
Yeah, it was. I think that season we had really as I said, we got off to a flyer, and then we kind of faltered near the end of the season, and you could just see that lead begin to to lose it. So no, we got it over the line. It was a great atmosphere. The fans were brilliant. The place was packed. So it was my first medal in senior football. A great occasion, and it was something I look back on fondly. I think maybe the following week we came here and won the Ayrshire Cup. We beat Kilmarnock as well for the second time that season. So it was a good period. It was a great time. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I wish I could do it again. You
mentioned the Kilmarnock games there. It must have been a great atmosphere inside Somerset Park. What were the fans like to play for? It must have been a great feeling to step out there in the black and white.
It was brilliant. They were first class with me. I had a great time. My goal scoring ratio was fairly decent, and they were brilliant. Even in a period where it got a bit difficult for me near the end, they let the manager know that they kind of wanted me in the park at times, and it was just a good relationship, really. I like to think I'd done okay, but they were first class with me. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And
you mentioned it was a slightly difficult end, if you like, and that you didn't really want to leave there, but you got your move to Shrewsbury at the time. It was quite an interesting move here to Shrewsbury. How did that come about, and how was that for you?
It was really, I found myself kind of out of the team, despite I started the season pretty well. I scored 4 or 5 goals in like 9-10 games, but at the time there was a lot of players coming in. There was a lot of players for different countries, different levels in England, and then a bit of interest in me for Shrewsbury, and a bit of interest for Oldham. I thought I was going to sign with Oldham, and then Shrewsbury kind of came in at the tail end of that, and it was kind of made clear to me that I wasn't going to be part of the plans moving forward, and it was quite an easy one, really. And again, something that in hindsight tells me that it was actually a good move for me. I really enjoyed my period in England as well.
And in terms of after your footballing career, what keeps you going nowadays? What are you doing in your spare time?
Well, at the minute I'm not involved anymore with football, but I've been involved with football up until just last year. So for the best part of 18-19 years I was involved in what you would call junior football, really. Yeah. So I had spells managing clubs like Arthurlie, Camelin, Ayr United. I was at Linlithgow Rose there just recently. I had a period at Glenafton with a former player, Dan Henderson. So I've kept myself kind of busy with doing my B licence and what have you with kind of coaching side of things. But I've not been involved now for maybe a year and a half, and I've not really missed it. I think my time's done and I quite enjoyed it. So a good period in my life, obviously. But I don't mind playing golf now sometimes on a Saturday. But I say it's great to be back here today. a lot of good memories flashing back.
What are your expectations about the game today? Obviously, Raith Rovers here at Somerset. What are you thinking?
It's a cracking game. It's a cracking game to come to today. The weather's perfect for it. Obviously, Raith getting a positive result the other night against Dundee United. So I think it's built to be a cracker. A wee bet on Ayr 3-1. So I've took Ayr as part of my coupon. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing the team play today, and I think it'll probably the game of the day really in the championship.
Right, cheers, Davey.
No problem, thanks.